IDEC 2018 this year was a combination of IDEC, the International Democratic Education Conference, the Asia Pacific Democratic Education Conference, and the first India Democratic Education Conference. So it was a wonderful coming together of all these events, and people concerned participated wholly and fully to make it a wonderful success.
So I first heard about democratic education from Amukta. She sent a letter saying this international conference is being organized, and for that we'll have a lot of exposure in India also, what kind of democratic schools we have, who are the people interested. So we will have these meetings. We had in Bangalore, we had in Delhi, we had in Coimbatore, and it was an eye-opener for me that there are so many schools in India, because democratic education, the first time you look it up on the internet, it's all about the West. And then when we came to those conferences, there are so many schools in India and there are so many different
diversity. And the second thing is about their natural resources. And one more thing is, which I want to add, that it is more for the tribal population. So most of the people, they live in the village. So here I am talking about the girls who live in, this is the thing. And the next thing is that when I asked about, and one more thing, that these people, those who live in the village, they do agriculture. And they are totally dependent on the resources.
So it's very important for us that what kind of changes we need to bring in teacher education programs, so that the teachers are prepared with a lot more flexibility and fluidity, rather than with a rigid mindset of lesson planning. The plan has to be like this has to be like that. How do I modify, how do I create those alternatives in my planning?
Freedom of choice. Dr. Montessori speaks about the freedom of choice that each child has in a Montessori environment.
So recently we wanted to unban popcorn. So because we banned popcorn, through the microwave. So someone proposed to unban popcorn, and we started talking about why we need to unban popcorn, why students need to have the right to be able to eat popcorn.
So that kind of has helped a lot to people, because in this fast moving world, you're running around a lot of information. Anything you can learn.
Rigid, empty, transparent, resilient structure, meaning I could put water in here, or beer, or milk, or acid, anything. So it's valuable for that. It needs to be rigid, because otherwise if it was made of cotton wool, the liquid would go everywhere. So you need a rigid structure. It needs to be empty, because if this falls to the top.
100 different kinds of experiments in our school, and when we conducted this inquiry, many other schools came to see our experiments, and they also explored the science.
In our school, we are not discriminated by girls or boys. We are equally treated. And in our school, we have friends, boys also. And we do not sit for lunch together in our class friends. We sit with other small grade children so that we can interact it.
They don't get it. It's simple as that. So if you want to know BSc in mathematics, you are fine to do it. Sorry? Yeah, they say that, but it doesn't work that someone said, what will you be when you grow up? I would say Prime Minister. Because there was no ceiling. There was nothing that told me that I could not be the lady with the shock of white hair and a cotton sari. My mother wore cotton sarees, so I would wear them when I grew up, and then I would have that hair, and I would be Prime Minister.
In our country, you can go back, you can do this stuff, and in this country to do almost whatever you want.
Yes.
And the reason that's holding people back is the mindset.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Here in Bangalore for the International Democratic Education Conference endeavor that is really about the growth, the evolution of consciousness of people. Learner-centered education for me is very important, but the essence should be to teach people about true freedom. And there's a huge misunderstanding, I think, these days about freedom, what freedom really is. And in general, education should be about helping people overcome their current limitations, whether they are physical limitations, emotional, psychological, any kind of limitation, to grow as a human.
Started the school basically because we at that time is looking for the right education. My son did not get a chance to experience my hours to school because he had already graduated and the school is there. So what we're planning to do today is, because there's a lot of things happening in Indonesia regarding democratic education, so we would like to share some of our challenges and as an opportunity. And at the end, hopefully we can get a lot of insight from everyone here.
About 30 years it applied to United Nations in 1948. We took them about 20 years ago on the 50th anniversary of this of the declaration. It was on 10th of December and compared, it contains out of 30 articles. It's pretty short and you can read it easily and it's translated in all languages. And what we did, we compared the 30 articles with the situation of children in Germany.
A lot from children, and I have learned from the children here. And I read it as teacher development and general autonomy. So my first abstract that I sent, I think, had autonomy of the child and teacher development. That was my focus. I focused on teacher development, teacher training, teacher development and autonomy of the child, which in the Montessori environment is our main focus. I can speak about it without even any PowerPoint.
He didn't hurt the baby inside. Teachers are giving all the information in life, whatever we know. Think about science or computer or whatever we know. But there is something like they are not letting us actually grow from within, grow our potential or whatever we have in natural way.
So now is the chance. Whatever you are wanting, just say it aloud and we all are blessing you. The universe is blessing you. Yes, so be it. Yes, I want freedom. So be it. Everybody, so be it. Yes, the person. So be it. Yes, beta. What do you want in life? Okay. What do you want in life? What is your dream? Yes, Ayushi. Ayushi. I want to create a positive change. So be it. Yes. Happiness. So be it. So yes, sir.
Financial freedom and bring in nature conserving products to useful products too.
Very nice. So be it. Yes.
Passionate, goal-oriented, compassionate, kind-hearted, curious. Symbol of the age. Because the environment was ocean.
We used a concept called making the running waters walk and making the walking waters stand and making the standing waters sit.
Simple. When it's an incline and when the water gushes down, first we'll have to slow it down. So the Cholas built check dams. They built series of check dams which slow the river speed. Then they made the running water walk. Then the walking water they just diverted it here and there and stored it in the lakes. So the walking water was made to stand. And the standing water just percolated through the ground and the ground table was filled. So the standing water sat. The Cholas brought in this beautiful concept that even now we are following it with garbage flowing with it. So like this is the history of noise. Then as this got into our minds, like you told, we started pestering our teachers. They were annoyed of us. We had guest speakers coming to Samskara. We had interactive sessions with them. We spoke to them about Noel, where she is, how she is, and how she used to be.
So then we had done a large batch with plants. So even if 100 kids see 10 plants growing, even if they've seen 1,000 plants die, there is still a good, there is still hope, you know. You don't kind of, okay, what is the use of farming?
Heartlands recognition.
Is our principal.
All the class structure, GDG executive at Heartland are ready or not. So this is the one filled by the
Plus 2 means 11 and 12 in our country, okay?
So we'll ask you have about 5 minutes to come up with your definition. Okay.
And democracy is not just limited to decision making, but it's a way of life.
And you won't need a discussion round, that's very seldom used. The election leader will then propose somebody and ask if anybody has any big objection. And you know if you have an objection or not depending upon how your body feels. If I'm leading and somebody says no objection, I say that's an objection. Your mouth and your body are contradicting each other. What's going on? So you want these objections. An objection is not a block. So we'll get as far as we can with this. Are there any quick questions? Okay, let's go.
मेरा नाम राज है और मैं दिल्ली से हूँ और वैसे तो मैं डांसर हूँ पर म्यूजिक का मेरे को बहुत शौक है वैसे गाने का बहुत शौक है मेरे को कभी कभी फ्रेंड्स के संग ट्राई मार लेता हूँ वो भी कहता है यार तू गा 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 तभी तो सीखेगा पर एक चीज़ से दूसरी चीज़ बजाना भी सीखा हूँ गाना भी सीखा हूँ डांसिंग भी सीखा
Whenever he get an okay I want to learn please share the recipe from Music Hub and he plays very well and he also conducted a small workshop. He's also sharing his guitar skills with others. Then we have a Raj, hip hop dancer. So he has also kids. Chirag, he's also a photographer. And, so all of them are sharing their skills. That is the idea of the principle of creativity is that how can we enhance peer-to-peer learning. We feel that everybody is a teacher and everybody is a learner. So at some time they are a teacher and sometimes they are a learner.
I met so many interesting people from all over the world. They shared games, they shared dance moves, they shared food, they shared a lot of different things from their region, and it was so rich with experience from so many different people. A Korean child teaching a child from Tamil Nadu his game, and a child from Tamil Nadu teaching a Korean game, a Korean child a song in Tamil. There was so much of interaction, there was so much of mingling happening.
Yeah, particularly I got to know that in Korea there are 3 Gandhian schools. Gandhi school, they call themselves Gandhi schools, and to my surprise all the teachers and all the students, 20 students and 3 teachers, they participated in the spinning workshops full time and they spun, they got the technique right.
You have to prepare a lot of things that you want to happen in classes, and you will consider that good part of the class, and you will just arrange things for them but when you get to the class, you know that having them disappear. It's very frustrating. But I was also aware that it's the most important thing that they're learning is the process. So I think the STEM members just should be very patient and just invite them again and again and talk to them again and again.
A comment relating to the power, the natural power. I'd like to invite the men, the fellow men in the room, just to be aware of how much the voice of the men has spoken for the last 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out.
This is an example of underlying patriarchal structure.
So whenever you have picnic, can you call your friends home and use? Want to try? I'll keep it for some time.
From 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. here in the playground, that's the open space in front of me, in front of the tent here, there'll be a joint activity. Contact improvisation, the same wonderful dance we were treated to yesterday evening, and at the same time there's some playful theatre.
Countries, and of the about almost 500 people, we had at least 1/3 were children. Children participated in a very active way. They were not just hanging around listening, but they did a lot of presentations, brought their experiences and life to the conference. From India too, we had many participants and delegates from all over India. And that helped also to give a kind of a vigor to the movement here in India.
So the presentation was titled Born to Learn. Okay, and the goal there is that people can only teach if you have learned. Right? Today there are teachers who have become a teacher and then after that they have not learned anything. These people are doing a disservice to community, right? So that is why Born to Learn, we are all learners all the time. We are collaborative learners. We also learn from children, correct? But the basic thought process here is I have research on neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity believes that our brains are plastic, and which means that they get molded. Now every child is born with 200 billion nerve cells, but by the time the child is 10, only 100 billion remain. We lose 50% during the most formative years of our life. Why? Because we do not give the child an opportunity to stimulate those 100 billion nerve cells. If you notice, the parents are telling the child what to do. Society is telling the child what to do. Teachers are telling the child what to do. Nobody is asking the child what it wants to do. That thing is not there. So I want to create an environment where the children will have a say and we will be the listeners. Correct? So I have this thing called OLA, O-L-L-A, observe, listen, learn and apply.
I'm the founder of that organization. It's called Muktadhara Multiversities. What brought me here, I really wanted to know more how democratic education is being implemented in the structured programs, and how do they really experiment democracy into this learning spaces where some schools are being regulated by the authorities, I mean state authorities, and some schools are not registered. So I just wanted to know the combination and how are they finding the middle path.
I think they are having more fun. Yesterday it was all like learning, and today is like fun. And I'm happy it's going exponentially, because whoever learned yesterday, they are bringing friends and playing it with them. So it's I think we just crossed that initial hurdle of that. The word learning is associated, then people think what is that kind of thing. So once they know what it is, then see, as you could see, their word is spreading and people are coming with their friends and teaching.
How my school is working, and about how we're going to expand. We're going to do something special. So we talk about it. We're going to build like a democratic village of 3 schools. Democratic, Sudbury and Montessori all together. We'll work together and separate.
ಗೊತ್ತಾಯಿತು ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಜೊತೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ನಾವು ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಊರಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ.
I'm 50 years old doesn't mean that I only reason her, okay, or she reasons me, but I should reason myself more than anybody else, and she should reason herself, and that's the best everybody's for meeting everybody.
Like the person there was asking, what do I do? My child is doing this. So, like I belong to a group of unschoolers, homeschoolers. So we want to give freedom to our children because we believe this is the best way for them to grow. Like we are.
Of course, the engineering approach I told you about freedom, fostering, not only education. Like we don't go to school just because to learn, but if I had a fever, yes, I will go to school today. Why? There was a dispensary there, so I'll get some medicine. So maybe I can have some rest also. It's better to go and sleep under the tree near the school rather than in the house, which is very chaotic. So that was like it's like a retreat. Sorry to use that word, I don't know whether it's the right word, but you are in the same class. That we have to be in the same class for you can overtake me at some point. Now I can branch out into something else. So there was no competition, there was a lot of cooperation, no tests, a lot of scope for self-evaluation. That's very important. So like the methodology was such that children could do a lot of self-correcting.
Hello, I'm
Hello.
not able to, listen the word. Hello, Anojji. Yeah. Hello, I'm
Hello.
not able to, listen the word. Hello, Anojji. Yeah, that I actually want. Hello.
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 Thank you. Myself Neha, and I'm a program leader working in Double Education Foundation that you already heard with Arun. So what
we are going to do now. So, we are going to do some activity. So for that, what I want is you all to get stand up in your places. Sample! Hey! My name is Sample! And I work in a button factory! Hey! My name is Sample!
Of course, the engineering approach I told you about freedom and fostering, not only education, like we don't go to school just because to learn, but if I had a fever, yes, I will go to school today. Why? There was a dispensary there. So I'll get some medicine. So maybe I can have some rest also. It's better to go and sleep under the tree near the school rather than in the house, which is very chaotic, So that was like, it's like a retreat. Sorry to use that word, I don't know whether it's the right word, but and you are in the same class. That we have to be in the same class for that. You can overtake me at some point. Now I can branch out into something else. So there was no competition, there was a lot of cooperation, no tests, a lot of scope for self-evaluation. That's very important actually. So like the methodology was such that children could do a lot of self-correcting.
Because, for example, I'm a member of a research group to organize accreditation organization. Another example is that so the one girl wanted to know her special interests because she wants to devote her energy to something special to her, but she didn't know what to do. So first, the person has to get a license from the government. So such a student can study about the medical something at your university.
All this ambition is not just to live in the village, it's to transform the village. Not in the respect of alienating the rest, but also seeing that there's value to the village. So some of our teachers came from the villages and when they initially joined school, parents were really skeptical. Because after all, my neighbors were to teach my son. What is she doing? Right?
Somewhere, education needs to change from the stereotype way of operations, too much of directions, too much of how things should be done, the stereotyping which I think most people go for, because they don't know that truly we are born with our own energies which need to be enhanced or discovered within you. Otherwise, if we don't move with our own energies, we become fragmented human beings. And that is what society wants. Here I did not see that. You know, it was such a pleasure to be among people relating as humans, you know. We were relating as humans.
There is going to be an IDEC conference. So having seen the school and having had an experience of what democratic school is, I came here with a curiosity to see what the world is up to. And it's been truly a very joyful experience, very learning experience. Because every day we come up and we meet different people and we see what is happening in different places. And this feels like a real, I don't want to use the word school, but a school for everybody. Like everybody, we meet somebody new, interesting, and a lot of people are doing a lot of interesting things.
How does flexibility and structure go together, right? So when I'm talking about structure in oneself, there are some things that are given. Children come in and children choose their own work. They choose where they want to work. They choose whom they want to work with. They choose for how long they want to work. That change in this journey, and that will, at least in our experience, change us and it changed our community.
With your left, kick forward, side, back, and then we go down.
Anybody else?
Do you know what it is called? No? Stress, yeah, but it causes stress. It's very stressful. It happens to me too. You know, it's called as rumination. Come back. Now what we did now was bringing your attention to your breath. This is what neuropsychology, neurocognition is teaching us now. To be in the present and to live moment by moment by moment.
And the person who wants to join this change can join this change. It is not compulsory for everybody to change, to get into this change. Yeah? So that means that at some level, I'm already beginning to be a little more of a risk taker, even though I'm sure I have butterflies in my stomach at that point of time. The second was that when the process was set up, there was a deep involvement by the first core team. It actually rolled out in 13 schools in the municipal corporation schools in Chennai municipal corporation schools, moved to some 250 plus schools, moved to 4,100 schools in the state, and then moved to 37,500 schools. Engaged in recontextualizing it, and therefore that engagement helped in the meaning-making process. It was not, here's what you need to do, go do it, but a deeper engagement over several months.
IDEC 2018 was an eye-opener. Actually did show how children left all alone, they can independently live all by themselves, independently take care of themselves, and in a very, very happy way.
They're all pre-programmed, right? The skills that they need to learn, they have a program and they learn it. They don't need to be really taught, right? Our kids also have that program, okay? So whatever work she's doing right now is because of that program in her mind, okay? We call it, Maria Montessori calls it the forming. It is that vital urge inside the child to achieve, okay, to make herself more capable. Because obviously she's so immobile right now, right? When she's a newborn, she has no movement, very little movement dependent on everybody. But she has a strong urge inside to learn everything, and her body is pre-programmed. She knows what to do when. For us to respect that is a very, very important thing.
Even though we have a new system, we're thinking of schools and education, we don't think about space, and I don't know how it is working, so, okay. So we are changing education. We know that it has an impact on children. But what do we do about places, the place where we educate? So, the baby. That's where we all come from. We all have been there. And babies, we know it very well, don't need nothing to learn how to walk. They just do it. They just go on and walk. It's like magic.
For us, even for the Karnataka Child Protection Policy and Guidelines, so we are very proud of the process and the way it came about. We have had a huge number of consultations. We have consulted over 5,000 adults, teachers, police, caregivers, children in home institutions, children in juvenile homes. We have talked to all of these groups.
So this barbet used to fly around in the mountains, okay? In our language, we call it the kathak fo. All the birds ends with fo, and it says kathak fo, and in Nepali it is called kuturke. What does it say? What? Kuturke? Kuturke. And if you just listen in the jungle, you will find this sound. Kuturke, kuturke. Can you make that sound, please, all of you? All of you, come on. You had breakfast, yeah? Yeah. When you go to the rocky side, there are still landslides happening. There's still soil erosion happening, and it's a natural thing for us because our mountains are growing.
There is not like really a big phenomena which is happening. You don't know which door you're opening, you don't know which one you are really banging, right? Same thing with Ramli. When he was going up against the river, against the direction, he was pulling all the boulders, he was pulling all the mud, he was pulling all the, things around the medicinal plants. So that's why you still find the muddy grave. But Ramli was always listening. She was there whenever she got angry, whenever Ramli got angry, she was calm. She did not react. Even when he blamed her with so much of allegations saying that you are a cheater, she did not react. She waited for him to calm down. So now also the river is very cool, like green and blue color. This is a folk tale, but in your story, what happens to River Tista? You have the freedom to say anything. Anything. It can be modern times, it can be olden times, it can be probably prehistoric times or times of the future. What happens to River Tista after they merge? Alright? And I particularly want you all to separate so that you can work with them. Can we just do like 5 minutes? Come on.
All around the ECC campus, there were children around playing and running around, enjoying the nature. I found a group of children who were looking for birds, climbing up trees. I also heard from children they loved staying in tents. They enjoyed sleeping in tents because that was their first experience there. And they loved the food. You could feel that democracy, like the freedom which was there in the conference itself.
Talk to my tutor and he was like, okay, this is maybe too big, like too big for you to create a master program. So I thought, okay, how can I make this very existing, like a movement in Germany,
this kind of a participatory approach to many institutions, many NGOs. They have also been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, and they have participated in the conference and brought their rich experience to the conference. These activities, the resource people brought in their skills, their work with people into the conference and contributed towards. The other is, I feel, especially for India and any other country too, that the culture of democracy is something that we need to look at and address. So how do we talk to each other? How do we listen to each other? And how do we respect one another? I feel these are things that which are long term. Those are goals for the long term, and those are, I think that's where we need to look at.
You might want to set up your own meeting for Tamil, but there has to be people with emails and so on for you to go, because otherwise all of this energy dissipates and you've got no one to say, who do I talk to in Tamil Nadu? Who do I talk to in Kerala? That's really important.
I think one of the best things that I got to do in this in discussions on education, as you can see even here today, so much for democratic education.
Democratic education is very important for me, and I think not for me but also many people, because democratic education is respect myself and respect others.
We live in the pinon juniper forests of the upper Rio Grande watershed on Turtle Island. This is a very, very small school in the mountains, and we're very isolated, so it's just very nice to be around so many people who do democratic education. Thank you.
Community of democratic education in Israel, to all of you. So big hug.
Everyone from Taiwan, please stand up. Yeah, I think we have more than 30 people here. Yeah, I think, and we have 3 groups here from, 4 groups. From Humanities, Explorational High School, Holistic School, Humanity School.
3 people from Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, and 8 people from Vinnytsia. We find this country to be very beautiful, very diverse, and it's just amazing. Thank you very much for inviting us, and we're waiting for you because next IDEC will be in Ukraine. So please come.
Democracy and education, freedom and knowledge. I think this is the 2 important key for progress. So therefore, as a family, we work together, we weave together to be a peace with the diversity.